I found your number in the phone of the girl who passed away. I think I might have dialed it accidentally. Sorry. Bye." She hung up before I could say anything. My blood ran cold. What had happened to her? How did this woman find my number? Who was she? And most importantly, what had happened to my daughter? But something told me to go to the house first. He was looking at me. I stopped and asked him, "Do you live here?" "Yeah," he replied. "Are you looking for someone?" "Yes." "Do you know who lives here?" "Who?" He pretended to be confused. "Do you know my daughter?" "Yeah," he said quietly. "What happened to her?" I asked. I was about to turn and walk away when I heard him speak again. "Are you looking for Amy?" "Never mind," I said. I stopped and faced him. "Why is she not answering the door?" "She's dead," he said, his voice emotionless. My legs shook beneath me. Dead. How could this be? I fought to keep myself from collapsing. How did this happen? Why is no one telling me anything? I cried. "Nobody knows," he replied. "What do you mean nobody knows? I found her body this morning." I called the police, and then I went to the store to get some more coffee. When I returned, your car was in the driveway, so I came out to see who was here. He shrugged. "You must be your father. I'm the neighbor. I'm sorry. If you need anything, you can come and talk to me." He looked at me sadly, and then turned and walked back into the house. So I put on some clothes and headed out the door. It was only a 10-minute drive, so I got there quickly. It was a nice-looking brick house. I parked my car and started to walk up to the front door. I wasn't sure what to say, but I hoped whoever was inside could help me. The website gave me an exact address, a house on Cherry Lane. I knocked on the door and waited, but no one came to open it. Maybe they were sleeping. So I tried again, louder this time. Still nothing. So I decided to check the windows. They were all closed. It looked like everyone was asleep. So I left without saying a word. I jumped out of bed and rushed to the computer. I typed in the phone number and saw that it was indeed the same area code as where we lived, and I searched online for the address. I didn't know if I should call the police or go to the house right then and there. On my way back to the car, I noticed a man standing at the end of the driveway. I wanted to scream, to cry, to break down. An hour passed, 2 hours, 3 hours. "Can you tell me what happened to my baby? How did she die?" On my way home, I called my husband. He was on a business trip abroad, and his phone was forwarded to my number. The next few days were a blur. I called the police station and asked to speak to the lead detective, but he was busy, so I spoke to his assistant instead. I demanded to speak to the detective again. "He's busy right now," the assistant said. "Tell him it's urgent." When the line went dead, I slumped down onto the floor. Days turned into weeks, and the investigation grew colder. The police still had no suspects. The last thing the detective had told me was that my daughter had been stabbed multiple times in the chest. I hopped in my car and raced to the neighbor's house. He was there. That night, they arrested Michael Williams. The evidence against him was overwhelming. As for the neighbor, he always wondered why his son had done this to Amy. The killer had tried to burn down the house to destroy the evidence. But what if I could find him before the police did? The operator searched and said there's a record of a death at that residence. The deceased is identified only as Amy. The police released a statement to the press, but they had no new leads. They said they believed it was a murder most likely committed during a botched robbery. I argued with them, insisting they had to know that Amy never carried any cash, and that she didn't even have a credit card. But they seemed unconcerned with finding the real killer. All they wanted was a quick closure to this case. On the news, they showed footage of the house on Cherry Lane. The reporter said the house had been cleared of evidence the day after the incident, which made sense, since it was also a crime scene. But there was one thing that did not make sense. The newscaster pointed out that a man had been seen leaving the house at 6 a.m. carrying a large duffel bag. They had a picture of him too, but his face was blurred out. I stared at the TV in disbelief. I recognized that man. It was the man who had talked to me outside the house the night before. Why didn't the police ask me? What did he know? She was found dead by the homeowner at approximately 9 a.m. today of unknown causes. I described the man and asked if he was a suspect. "Oh, you mean Mr. Williams? He's a witness?" He called us to tell us about the body after finding it. Said he'd been out walking his dog and found the house on fire. He tried to put it out, but when he realized there was a body inside, he ran to get help. Makes sense? Why wouldn't it make sense? Realizing that the police had probably already spoken to him. They had probably asked him about the duffel bag, too. Had he confessed? Did he kill my daughter? The case has been turned over to the homicide division. Do you know anything about this? Yes, I said. I know who she is. I'm her mother. Can I see her? The operator apologized, but informed me that because the investigation was still in its early stages, I would need to wait for them to contact me. Then she hung up. We don't know yet. We're still waiting for the coroner's report, but we do know how she died. I didn't mean to call you. The sun climbed higher in the sky, but still no one called me. Why would anyone do that? And who would kill my precious baby? He shook his head sadly. She was such a sweet girl. Everyone liked her. Everyone. She was stabbed multiple times in the chest, and the killer tried to burn down the house to cover up the crime. I gasped. Burn down the house. Do you have any suspects? Not yet? But we think it was someone she knew. I needed to know what had happened to my little girl. Do you know if she had any enemies? Anyone who might want to hurt her? No, not that I know of. Okay, Mrs. Harper, the detective said. We'll call you as soon as we learn anything else. Thank you for coming in. Why wouldn't they tell me anything? Just then, my phone rang. Snatched it up and practically screamed. Tell me what has happened to my daughter. Mrs. Harper, a deep voice said, My name is Detective Harris. I'm calling about the death of your daughter. Would you be able to come down to the station and talk to me? Of course. When? Where? Right now, please. It won't take long. I threw on some clothes and rushed to the police station. I burst through the doors and hurried up to the detective.